Hi there! Our team has consulted with more than 2,000 men, and in most cases has succeeded in getting relationships back into a happy phase. There is a lot of experience and understanding of what works and what does not work to save a marriage and make a woman fall in love again. That's what I'll talk about in this video. So, how do you save a marriage? Obviously, a marriage can't be long-lasting and happy if the wife has no feelings for and has been forced to be with her husband for whatever reason. You first have to restore attraction and interest in her to save the marriage. The good news is that it can be done. Your wife can fall in love with you again. You already succeeded in making her fall in love with you once. Now you just need to figure out what you need to do to make her fall in love with you again. But you must understand that your wife probably has a lot of negativity, frustration, and pain right now. With that in mind, you have to use slightly different techniques than you used before to remove the negativity and make her fall in love with you again. Let's talk about that in detail. Most likely, at the beginning of your relationship, you gave a lot of positive emotions to your wife, so she fell in love with you and wanted to live with you happily ever after. But over time, the situation began to change. Those expectations that your wife had were not met. The positive emotions that you gave her waned. Your habits changed. Life happened, and with it, the situation changed. Often, men think that the most important thing is to win her love, to make her fall in love, and everything will be fine. Then they believe that since everything is fine at home, they can stop nurturing the relationship and work, or run a business, or do other manly things. On the other hand, of course, men's business and work must be done. But if you completely forget about your wife, her feelings and needs, then at some point she may fall out of love and want to leave you. I recently had a case in which the man got married and then started his own business, fully dedicating himself to work. His wife talked for a long time about how she missed him, wanted to spend time together, go on vacations together. But the man had a goal, to succeed in business and provide for his family. The question is, at what cost can this goal be achieved? If your wife is happy and supports you in your business, it really helps to move faster towards your goal. On the other hand, when she's not happy and constantly complains, the husband has to fight on both fronts, at work and at home, which exhausts him. He's not productive in either place, home or work. In this case, success at work or business can also be achieved, but the price will be too high. Therefore, efforts to save the marriage and repair the relationship with his wife can pay off many times over in other areas of life. To save the marriage and restore the relationship with your wife, you first need to understand what problems you had. Depending on the problems, you will need to choose the correct tactics for each case. For example, if you did not pay attention to your wife, it is important to spend time together. If you chased her, begging her to come back, and she refused you, you need to take a break and work on your shortcomings first. There are a lot of men who are constantly inflaming the situation, getting jealous and demanding a lot of attention from their wives. There is an adequate level of jealousy, and there is a level at which the man becomes insanely jealous, just trying to control the woman in her every move. And many women are annoyed by this because it's uncomfortable. Such a man loses his attractiveness in women's eyes. He becomes dull and not exciting because he keeps chasing his wife instead of doing his own things, improving himself and becoming more attractive. The next point is when there is too much negativity in the relationship. This can be because the man experiences hardships at work or business and transfers his work-related frustration to his wife and children, being constantly angry and discontented. This means that the stress level is very high, but there is no understanding of how to deal with it. As a result, the wife is constantly criticized and overwhelmed with demands. So instead of the positive emotions that were there in the beginning, when the man was giving a lot of compliments and praising his wife, rushing to see her at every moment, he now brings only negativity to his family. Naturally, the family relationship deteriorates, but the wife doesn't want to live in negativity. She wants to be happy, getting more positive emotions. It is also an important point that romantic feelings will not be maintained if you have not paid attention to your wife for a long time. For example, inviting her on a date here and there. The romantic overtones that were there at the beginning of your relationship just disappear, and the wife is unhappy. She misses those feelings. She may say, "I don't feel anything for you anymore," all because the spark between you has gone out without being nourished. Another interesting thing is when a man had inflated expectations of who he could become and was very boastful. So to say, he was throwing dust in the woman's eyes, so she had very high expectations. And it turned out that he wasn't at all what he pretended to be. So the woman is disappointed and, as a consequence, disgruntled. Attractive male polarity is to act, to show yourself, to be a leader in the couple and take the initiative. If a man lies on the couch with a beer all day, doesn't do anything productive, and doesn't pay attention to his wife, just telling her that he needs to rest, the woman simply stops feeling attracted to him. And love goes away in this case too. So, what do you need to do to win back your wife's love and restore your relationship? Here's a step-by-step plan. First, in most cases when there's a bunch of negativity in a marriage and the man chases after the woman, begging her to come back, and she's pushing him away, a break needs to be taken, because the more pressure she's put under, the more she will resist. This situation is similar to when you are forced to buy something you absolutely do not need. The person chases after you saying, "Buy it, buy it." But that makes you irritated, and you don't see at all that the product is cool and that you actually need it. Such aggressive imposition causes you to be negative. How will you behave with this salesperson? Most likely, you will answer with a polite refusal. But if you are emotionally unstable and angry, and you are aggressively offered an unwanted item, you will refuse in a rude manner. This is what's going on with your wife. The longer you force yourself on her, the ruder she becomes. Why does she feel that you are imposing what she doesn't need? Because she's already frustrated. She's in a lot of pain, and she has built up an emotional protective wall that blocks all of your attempts to get close to her. It happens then that she has negative expectations about her future with you, meaning that if she comes back to you, she expects to have a lot of pain and negativity. So she runs away from you, much like any person would. She doesn't want negativity in her life. She wants to be happy. And until you create a new attractive image, show her that you have a happier relationship and make her believe it, you are not going to be able to get close to her. For her to believe in change, you need to influence her in other ways. Just shouting that you have changed and things will be different won't work. Chances are you've said it before, but back then your words didn't match your actions, which is why she doesn't believe it anymore. Trying to repeat the old ways only makes things worse. In this case, she builds up a lot of resentment and anger. To help you overcome your wife's resistance and negative emotions, our team has developed a method of indirect influence. The essence of this method is to use social networks, her environment, and special stories to help change her perception of you and the future she could have with you. First of all, though, you need to work on yourself in those key areas where you had problems in the relationship and demonstrate these changes rather than shout, "I've changed, everything will be great." This method is described in detail in the book, Get Your Wife Back. It can be found by following the link in the video description and comments. Once your wife starts to believe that you've changed, you can try to get closer. Usually, at these moments, she will start to write or call more on her own. Trying to get closer to your wife before she believes you have changed will likely only get you negative results. She'll just be rude and aggressive. Once she believes in your change, though, you can ask her out, enjoy yourselves, and maybe even remind her of the good times you had when you first met. But if you try reminding her of those times before she trusts that you've changed, you'll just get aggression in return. When you're out on a date, don't try to pressure her or have a showdown. The purpose of your dates is to have a good time and help her fall in love all over again, like she did at the beginning of the relationship. If you have any questions about these instructions, please let me know in the comments. I will be glad to answer them as soon as possible. If you need a detailed, clear action plan, like what and when to write, how to influence your wife, and how to stick to the plan if you get emotional, you can find it all in the book, Get Your Wife Back, by following the link below this video. Good luck to everyone in getting her love back and keeping your family together. See you all soon.